I have a special guest here with me, the one and only Mr. Thierry Wasser from Guerlain.
Exactly. Hi, guys.
How are you?
And hello, Sebastian. I'm good.
How are you doing?
I'm not the freshest I have been, but I did the tour Canada and the East Coast, and I kept you for dessert. So
Okay. All right.
I'm fine.
You're fine. Good. So you're here in San Francisco, and you're doing an event at Neiman Marcus, but I was able to coordinate with your folks, and we're doing the video together today.
Yeah, because I don't travel with all that usually, so
You don't?
That's how I know, or you should know that you
That's a
have
lot of
been in
bottles.
touch with our folks.
Okay, yeah,
Right.
yeah. That's a lot of heavy bottles. So you have the new extracts that just launched, but I have some questions for you.
Go.
Okay. So what was your very first fragrance memory? I don't want to put you on the spot, but
No, well, you are, but actually, I'm not a spring chicken, and at the time when I grew up, fragrances were there, but you were not exactly aware that there were perfumers designing fragrances, and that industry was a mystery for a lot of people. And I encountered a scent called Rouge
yeah,
while I
love
was 13, and it was very masculine. And to me, it was a way to feel masculine. You know, when you're 13, you want to be a little dude.
You want to be a man.
Yeah, and that was my man outfit.
Okay.
And Rouge never left me since. I still wear it.
I really love the new Rouge Privé.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
It is bold,
Yeah,
and
it's bold and
rich and leathery.
Yeah.
Yes,
So why doesn't that get a release here in the States?
I have no idea.
People are asking for it. But let me go back to my questions. So how did you get the opportunity to work with Guerlain?
I met Jean-Paul Guerlain in 2006, 2007. He was in a pre-retirement period, if you want. And he always been acquainted with the fragrance houses like Firmenich, Givaudan, those big labs. And at the time I was with Firmenich.
Okay.
And I met him, and I think it is, sometimes you do have encounters in your life.
Yeah.
Very often, it is somebody older than you who eventually sees something in you that you don't, and decide to give you an opportunity by telling you, why don't you come on board, etc. And I had several of those encounters who builded me. My first boss, I started an apprenticeship in Switzerland. Then the guy who saw something in me to bring me up at the perfumery school in Givaudan. So basically, it was the same kind of encounter. And with Mr. Guerlain, we went along very well. And that's that.
That's the rest is history.
Yeah.
So you started in 2007, 2008? 2008, okay. What was your very first Guerlain perfume?
In-house was Idylle.
Oh. One that I don't
Launched
know.
in 2009, yeah.
Okay.
It's funny because when I joined, I was 47, and at that age, if you perform in your trade, it's easy breezy.
Yeah.
And here you start again something very new.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was like an apprenticeship again at that age, and that was cool. But I had the weakness thinking that I could do whatever I wanted. And I designed Idylle in a certain way, which when I smell it today, I said, you were a bit naive because you didn't know what Guerlain was exactly.
Yeah.
And I like this naivete of Idylle and that was the first one. Yeah.
That was the first one. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I haven't smelled that one. Is it still in existence? Okay.
We produce 3 bottles a year. No, it's still there. It's hanging there.
Okay, good to know. I'll have to get my nose on it. But what do you like about working for Guerlain?
Well, it is a very different animal. If you are a perfumer there, you have to learn about manufacturing. And indeed, if you do manufacture, you have to learn about sourcing.
Okay.
And I think 35 to 40% of my annual time is in the fields, in the distilleries around the world. And that's what you have to learn.
Okay.
Because you can eventually, if you're lucky, come to my factory.
Oh, wow.
And check. There is no frozen pizza in the freezer. Everything is made with raw materials gathered from around the world and compounded in one spot outside Paris.
Okay.
And you have to learn all that.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot to learn.
Yeah, but you know, it has been around for almost 200 years.
200 years.
You just get there. There is the head of manufacturing, Paulo Diniz, who did work with Mr. Jean-Paul. So it's not like you have to learn that. You have to be acquainted with it in order to eventually have a vision for it.
Yeah.
You don't actually do it.
Yeah. We already talked about your very first Guerlain creation. What is your favorite Guerlain creation?
It's Mitsuko.
One that you made.
Oh. Well, if I may say so, I'm not such a fan of Wasser.
Oh, why?
Because I wear Habit Rouge and my favorite is Mitsuko, so obviously, you know. But when you work on scents, you are the first guinea pig. You spray on your skin and you wear it, because the smelling strip is fine to discriminate a couple of things, but after a scent is alive, and so are you, hopefully. So you have to see how it evolves on skin with your skin, your heat, your being.
Yeah.
And after, it doesn't mean that because you are the first guinea pig that fragrance is going to love everybody on earth.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, people are having some deception there.
Yeah.
But that's how it works. So I don't know. How do you pick? It's difficult.
Yeah,
and,
I know.
After, in 2014, I hired Delphine Gelk to help me out because, as I said, the manufacturing, the sourcing, little PR with Sebastian takes time. So you need help. So there is a team, and today it is something which functions so well because they are talented people. Very talented people, so I don't know which one I like best.
Okay, so if you can't answer that, how about your favorite project, like your favorite fragrance that you worked on? What was the most exciting, most fun, most rewarding? Every
scent tells a story. I think a fragrance is a story in a bottle.
Yeah.
It looks like Guerlain is like an editor. And you have a little book, you tell a story every time. And all those stories, if you choose to tell them, are fun, or they mean something to you. But you see, that's where the inspiration comes from. It could be a landscape, it could be a conversation, it could be a raw material, it could be whatever. If you are present in your life, because a lot of people live next to their own shoes and they miss their lives.
Yeah.
Here, if you are there, if you are present in the moment, you can draw, invent, tell those stories.
Yeah.
So which one is the best? It's like which fragrance I like best, I have no idea. Because those moments, I don't put a hierarchy in those different moments of my life.
Okay. All right.
If it makes sense.
Good answer.
No, I don't know. I'm good at not answering, but those two questions are difficult.
Yeah, okay. No worries.
Okay.
So how do you like working with Delphine?
But it's cool. Well, first of all, I picked her. And as I said, she's very, very talented. She's wild, she's young, she's full of life. And, you know, it's about, once again, it's a relational thing.
Yeah.
So it's very sensible. It's not something you talk about. Either you live it or you don't. And when you do live it, there is nothing much to explain. It is something natural.
True.
I'd say.
Yeah. Cool. I'm enjoying her work.
It's awesome.
So how do you divide the work with Delphine? Who just makes the decision, I'm going to create this one, you create that?
She does.
She does. Oh. Okay.
She since 14, no, it's almost 10 years.
Wow, yeah.
She's the creative director, so she goes for it.
Oh, cool. Cool. I'm only hearing her name for the last 5 years, so. She was hiding before. No, I'm just kidding.
But also you have to get acquainted. When I said that, you know, speaking of Idylle, that I was naive, and Guerlain is very special. And it's not because you have that past that it is a burden. To me, it's a springboard. But you have to be definitely knowing and very close to that past to be able to express something. Like those 6 babies, they are each one of the material of Guerlain. So you have to get close to understand, to be very close to those ingredients to be able to express them in that way.
Absolutely.
So it takes time.
True. How do you decide on what's the next creation? How do you, like, let's say for example, tobacco honey. Who came up with the idea to create such a fragrance?
I don't know. No, really.
I'm wearing it, by the way.
honey,
Can you smell it on me?
Yeah. It's hard to miss.
Yeah, probably 20 sprays.
No, but even though it's a bold fragrance which has such a great aura, etc., we love the diffusion. So tobacco is not exactly a raw material you think at first when you speak or you think fragrance. Rose, jasmine, blah blah blah, are, you know, the first ingredient coming to mind. I have no idea, but tobacco and honey are good friends because tobacco were and still are fragranced, and in the 19th century, Tonka bean and honey were heavily used to flavor the pipe tobaccos.
Okay.
And what's interesting is that you have an accord of tobacco here, underlined by the sesame to make it a little more toasted, I would say, something which evoke the smoke to a certain extent, and the honey. And it's the first time ever you have real honey in a scent. No, it's not ever, because there is real honey in Nerolia vetiver harvest.
I have that one too. Yeah, definitely.
And you can feel that.
You can feel it.
Before this technique from a partner of ours, when you have in a description honey, it is a man-made base which reproduces the honey effect.
Okay.
But this is very cool, and that's what we do when we are in the field. The guy in south of Italy, in Reggio di Calabria, where we do source the bergamot now for 3 generations at Mr. Capua, he's an engineer, and I guess he's very curious, like a 12-year-old kid, which when you put them together, make him a great inventor too.
Okay.
And he noticed that when you use those peeling machines to extract the oil of the citrus, there is some spray of water to bring the oil out of the machine.
Okay.
that water was scented. So if the water is scented, there is something in it.
Mm-hmm.
So he invented a machine which captured the volatile from the water.
Wow.
And honey, obviously, is not something you can put like this in a fragrance.
Yeah.
So the idea was to put honey in water, like old grandma does when she have a herb tea.
Okay. Okay.
So it's very perfectly soluble.
Okay.
And after that invention captured those volatile, and it's the first time ever that you have a real honey.
Wow.
Thanks to
That's
Capra.
amazing.
So sometimes creation and techniques, technologies, or raw material are very, very closely linked. And
So a company that's known for bergamot came
yeah,
up with honey?
well, and yes,
Wow.
because of that technique of
Wow.
capturing the volatiles in the water, and that honey, since we have a program protecting the bees around the world, we put hives everywhere. We have candidate ladies. It's called Women for Bee with UNESCO,
Okay.
and Angelina Jolie is the godmother.
Okay.
So we started in Cambodia because she's very linked with Cambodia, south of France, here and there, and in south of Italy.
Okay.
And the honey which is in there is the honey from the hive of that program, treated by Mr. Capua.
Oh my God.
Isn't that cool?
All
It's
connected.
It's
Wow.
a 360.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why fetching those raw materials are not innocent. It's something which has a meaning for us, even in new products or for the old products. If you understand that we do manufacture fragrances from the 19th century too, you have to grab materials for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where it's get very, very interesting.
Yeah. Amazing. That's a great story. It smells great. Really does smell like honey. I know this question comes up quite a bit about discontinuations and things like that. Who decides a fragrance gets discontinued? Is it because of lack of sales or?
Yeah, it's a business decision. We discontinued 2 fragrances for regulatory reasons only. It is Parure, or it was Parure, and Nahima extract.
Oh, okay.
The rest, very often, it's a business decision because you don't sell it, and it is if you have to sell those. They call those fragrances slow movers. So I always had the kick out of that with those slow movers. Okay.
It's a slow move.
So those slow movers, if you produce, let's say, 1,000 bottles of these slow movers, the cost of making them is so high that you cannot afford them.
Yeah. I get it, yeah.
So it's always a heartbreaking decision because we know perfectly that somehow a couple of thousands of people will be affected and be very sad about it, because when you own your scent, as I wish people do, well, you stole something from them. But we manufacture more than 120 different scents in the factory, not counting the one for cosmetic and makeup, because we do that too for our own purpose. But the complexity is already huge. So if you have very tiny little batches, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, makes sense.
We sometimes already think that you are in an apothecary store more than in a manufacturer place. So discontinuation is always painful. I understand it is even more of a trouble for the public or people who likes them.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Okay, good, great answers. Thank you. So everybody will hear and not complain. My favorite fragrance is gone.
no, but if it's your only one, you see, I wear one scent. I started at 13 and I'm 62. If it stops, I would be miserable. So I understand that stop my favorite scent. If you can bounce back on something else, good for you. But
Am I smelling Heavy Rouge on you?
yeah,
Okay.
because like you, I put 20 sprays, but since I wear that for so long, I respray constantly because I don't smell myself. So I have a little, always in my pocket, a little lamp.
Oh, nice. That's great. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about Feve Gourmande since it's just launched. It used to be called Gourmande Coquin.
Yeah, so it's resuscitation. You see, maybe
It's resurrected.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the exact same formula.
Okay.
And I know that people would think it's different because every time we change, even a label, people have the perception that the scent has been changed. But since we do manufacture them, I know as a fact that it is the same.
Okay. So the reason the fragrance originally got discontinued because that collection got discontinued?
But
And how come it came back?
So we do listen to all the markets, and indeed the US were very strong about who is Feve Gourmande today, Gourmande Coquin. So it came back. We had a collection called Les Parisiens et les Parisiennes,
I remember.
which was exactly that. You, for XYZ reason, but mainly for business reason, a fragrance who disappeared could be coming back if people are screaming loud enough, I guess.
Okay, so we just have to scream loud. So guys, just take that note.
Yeah, scream loud, but buy cases of them, not one, because otherwise that size thing is what is the problem.
Okay. So did Bois Mystérieux get discontinued?
Bois Mystérieux.
That's one of my
no.
favorites.
C'est qui Bois Mystérieux? Who the hell? Because they changed the names. And Bois, Songe d'un bois d'été.
Yeah, that one.
Ah, ben non. Ben, Songe d'un bois d'été. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean,
I heard
the
it recently.
question.
Yeah,
because
I heard it was
it became something in les Absolus d'Orient.
Yeah, Bois Mystérieux. Bois Mystérieux.
Ah, that's how they called it?
Is that?
I'm getting senile. Okay, but it's here. But now, because Encens Mythique was in the previous collection with Rose Nacrée du Désert.
Yeah.
This one, out.
Oh, okay.
But both Bois Mystérieux and Encens Mythique are in the Absolu d'Orient.
Oh, okay.
And now, how do they perform? That's always the same question. So I don't know how their life, how long their life is going to be, but
It's one of my favorites. But I don't think it's for everybody because it's got that
I called
cumin.
Yeah, I called it when I designed it Cuir Émir, King's leather. Amir leather.
Oh, okay.
Cuir Émir. That was his lab code name.
Oh, okay.
So it is, yes, leathery, cuminy, etc. But I had the kick out of this one. It was fun. I mean, designing those scents for the Middle East, it's such a joy for me because it is linked to those trips I make there, either for PR or for PR, because that's all the only thing I do there, basically, when I go to Dubai. And I got so many friends who, at first, I remember one who told me that European people, we were absolutely incapable of designing big wow fragrances.
Okay.
And I said, what is a big wow fragrance? And by telling me his routine, the whole vision of Middle Eastern about fragrance is very different than ours. It is much more, it's also, no, it's much more, it's also, so it is very different than ours. It's almost religious to a certain extent. He told me one thing once, this friend. Do you know why we always carry a little bit of rose oil in our pocket. I said, no. I said, because here, when we know that we're going to meet and greet somebody, we give a hug. We hug people. And before a meeting, I put a couple of drops of this rose oil. I put it on my beard, on the side of my nose, and when I hug a friend, I smell good, because human beings are God's creatures, and I don't want to insult God by smelling bad.
Oh.
Those stories resonated
Totally.
in me, and you see, or you write a story, or you design a fragrance with a different approach to a certain extent. And that's why I think all those sums of story that I've learned or heard in Dubai or in the region motivate me, and it's a pleasure to make this collection. After that discussion about European not being able to design those fragrances, I did Santal Royal.
Okay.
And I asked her, I said, is it Big Wow now? And every time I work for the Middle East type of scents, if you call them like that, I send him lab samples and ask for his advice.
Oh, cool.
I need to know.
Yeah. So tell me about the new extract.
I have been asked for a while now about layering.
Oh, okay. I do it. I didn't used to do it.
It's awesome. It's cool.
Yeah.
I cannot, say that there are no rules. You use fragrances for you, for your well-being, for your pleasure, for your joy, for your happiness. Today your self-esteem is challenged everywhere you go, every day, on social media or at work or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I think having something which makes you feel good boosts that self-esteem, I guess.
I agree.
And if layering is something which makes you feel even better, who am I to tell you don't?
Exactly.
And the choice of the ingredients of the Guerlain, since it is the house signature from Jacques Guerlain, is present in almost every single of our scents.
Okay.
So you can eventually accentuate something one day or underline an effect if you want more of the vanilla, more of the yummy Tonka, etc. You can play with them together or with other scent or whatever. So once again, when you give people freedom, they're scared and they want rules. What should I do? Which one should I mix? I don't care. It's you.
It's up to you.
Yeah, but that's what's fascinating about people is like, no rules. But they need guidance. But there is none to be given.
Okay.
So those are extract. So they're at the high concentration, like an extrait, and the theme is the raw material. It's very easy to understand because the theme is on the label, like on the L'Art et la Matière, basically.
Okay.
But much more graphically.
Okay.
So they can stand alone as a scent because they're built that way, but they are very graphic.
Okay. What do the numbers mean?
The numbers are like those golden numbers, nombre d'or. So it's called like golden numbers.
Okay.
So those golden numbers represent a secret facet of each ingredient. Let's say bergamot 11. It's because the harvesting starts in November, and we love that bergamot. November is the 11th month. Rose 1 is when you pick the flower, it needs to be distilled in the 24 hours, otherwise it fades. So 1, vanilla 21, it is a trade secret. I don't know why they gave it away like that. It is the number of days that the beans are sitting in the alcohol to get our famous teinture de vanille,
Oh, okay.
etc., etc. So that's what those numbers are about. Iris number 6, you know, it is an underground stem. It's not the flower that we use,
Yep.
which need an average of 3 years in the soil to be at the decent size to be harvested, then dried for 3 years to achieve all the complexion of the aromas and the flavors of this underground stem. So 3 plus 3, 6.
Wow. Long time for that one.
Yeah, it is a process, and that's where it is very challenging for farmers, because for 3 years their land, or the piece of land that they grow iris, is dedicated to that. So it is it's a challenge, it's a gamble, especially when you do organic, because you don't know what the outcome could be after 3 years. I just come back from the south of France, where I had that discussion about the iris and the organic, because you can have a fungus attack after 2 or 3 years, and do what?
Okay.
So a lot of, sourcing is not just like taking trips. How acquainted are you with this part of the manufacturing, the sourcing? Did you go to any of those places to see a harvest or some?
No. I mean, I've been to Grasse several times, but haven't really seen any of the harvests. I've read about them and everything. Curious.
Because it's very complex, but certainly very human. It is always about the people who do grow and transform those materials. And I think because of this sourcing, which is so specific, that we have been taking so good care for generations, our scents are incarnated by the people who make those raw materials.
Okay. So if you're using the extracts to layer with, there are no rules, but the ideal would be to layer down the extract first and then...
I would say so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite extract?
I like the vanilla.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
See? See?
Yeah.
Good. We both have very good taste.
Yeah, we do. So, last question. What do you see the future of Guerlain? What should we expect?
Oh, but our job is so secret.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
Okay. Darn it. I thought I'd try.
Yeah. Try again.
Okay.
No,
what do you see?
It is rather predictable on a certain extent. Every year there is an Aquaricoria. We have this collection. L'Art et la Matière started in 2005 with 5 individual. Mm-hmm. Now we're at 24. So those collections
Somebody's going to get
grow.
the axe, though, I think, right?
Maybe, yeah. No, yeah, I heard this in New York 2 days ago. Because I was not even aware that, I don't know who you're talking about and if it's the right place to talk about it, but
No,
I didn't know, and someone told me about that axe thing, and I said, really?
Okay.
I have to check because I have absolutely no idea. But I know that some did. Iris Ganache did, Mire et Délire did. I mean, but that's also what the collection is about. It's like a family. You welcome newborns, but unfortunately, sometimes there is a funeral.
Sad.
It's always
That's
sad.
reality, though.
But it is life, and a collection is like a family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. So one last thing I should ask you. You brought some samples there. Are we supposed to smell those?
I don't know. We are prepared in any case. Those are raw materials.
Okay.
And this is, for example, the rose. I have a rose from Grasse, but since you went to Grasse, I don't think you need to smell
Okay,
the rose from
I
Grasse.
won't smell it.
But we can.
Okay.
But for you, it's not going to be very interesting. but I have the bergamot from Reggio, from that guy, Capua. And I have the vanilla from Madagascar on that tincture that we do after 21 days.
Okay.
I have this, that's what they are.
Oh, all right.
We can play after.
Okay, cool.
Or we can try one of them with 2 ice cubes. Delicious.
Oh, really?
Well, it's dark. It's time for a drink.
Okay, any last words before we wrap up?
No, I'm
No?
good.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay, well, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. I'm sure the audience is going to enjoy it. I hope you get to watch it.
I hope so. Well, I watch you,
Okay.
and that's where I said, "Wow, fragrances which eventually come from another planet." And I'm not the most curious person about the market, so you make reviews which are really exhaustive.
Ooh, you're
No.
exhausted?
No, come on, the exhaustive thing.
Elaborated?
So you do review which are very elaborate on things that I never smelled. So after some time I have the envy to go
Ah,
smell it because it's awesome. There are brands I don't even know about.
okay.
So it's very cool.
Yeah, a lot of people tune in to discover new brands on my
So
channel.
I'm not sure, since I'm not such a Wasser fan, that I'm gonna watch this, but I watch you, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It's pretty long, but I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. It goes pretty fast. Yeah, the extracts are out now. You should definitely check them out. Tobacco honey is great. Feve Gourmande does smell like gourmand cocan. And that's pretty much it. Big fan of Guerlain, so I was happy to be able to do this video. Thank you again.
Thank you, Sebastian.
And if you have any questions or comments, please list below. Otherwise, please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And now TikTok. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right.
Yeah,
So-
okay, so
What are we smelling?
here I have a couple of raw material which are the star of this collection, for example, but I don't know how acquainted you are with those, but this is like the teinture de vanille that we do. So we get the beans from Madagascar, and after 21 days you filter it, obviously, that's what you get. And you see how
Delicious.
rich it's cool.
Yeah.
And nobody extract, because we usually people buy extracted vanilla. We do the beans and we do our tincture ourselves. And in September I went to Madagascar because we want our sourcing routes to be eventually certified by UEBT. I don't know if you know this NGO.
Not really. Yeah. But,
Well, it stands for Union for Bioethical Trade.
okay.
And I think in our sourcing adventures, we always did it, as I told you, it's very humane. It's about meeting people. It's our partners. So we were doing this trade or this task or this we were doing empirically the best we could. An NGO like UEBT allows you to measure what you have done, what you do, and eventually what you can improve. So that's their job.
Yeah.
They are pro at that. And this one is the first one, the vanilla from Madagascar. It's our first partner who's going to be certified UEBT and organic.
Oh, wow. That smells delicious. So, this is a vanilla tincture. You can use it in cooking, can't you?
You can.
Because I've cooked with vanilla before.
Yeah.
And it smells just like a,
No, you can. The bean.
yeah.
The bean, you see, you have the vanillin is what makes the vanilla smell vanilla. But so many facets. Some are fruity, some are leathery, more or less. There are so many spicy.
I thought I was getting leather with this a little bit as it dried down.
Right. And that's what's cool about those complex materials. When you do extract them gently, you have so many stories in one.
That's amazing. One of my favorite ingredients in the world.
Yeah. And that's indeed what makes the spirituous double vanille. It is in Chalimar, it's everywhere. But I wanted to present it to you as a raw material. Like I have, I don't know, do you know how the iris?
I love iris. I have iris torrefi.
Iris torréfiée.
Yeah.
So it's coffee and iris, but this is just the that famous root. I mean root.
Yeah.
Root
of the iris.
Underground stem.
Oh,
looks like a bulb. Because
so it's not a root; it's the bulb. Well, is that the same bulb that you can buy to plant every year with other flowers?
Yeah.
Dry and then it's kind of similar.
It is an underground stem. Okay. After you have tiny little things, those are the roots. So you take that bulb. That's why you need 3 years. So it's sizable. Then you dry it for 3 years because there is something happening when the water comes out of that bulb, where there is some alchemistry inside, and it's called an enzymatic reaction. Well, it's not very glamour, but that's what happened, which get to the full aromas of this ingredient. Then it is dry like a stone. It has to be pulverized, then distilled.
Wow.
And that's the result.
That's the result. Ooh. Vegetal.
It is a little green. It is the definition of powdery.
Yeah, very powdery.
And there is a woodiness, there is a softness, there is a butteriness.
Yeah. But not very sweet.
No, it's not sweet at all. No. Actually, it's really dry. But it's very powerful and long lasting.
Okay. Does this come from Italy as well?
It's a blend. Sorry. It's a blend. It's Italian, Turkish.
Oh, wow.
And because there are two main iris, Pallida and Germanica. The Germanica is widely grown in Morocco. The Pallida is the Pallida / Fiorentina is the Italian.
I see.
Then you have big fields in China, in Turkey, etc. But it's difficult for traceability to follow those partners. So we focus on two, and eventually we'll find some Moroccan who will grow Pallida. But because we need as much as possible organic, and of course, if you're organic, the traceability is 100%.
Okay.
And you know exactly where it comes from to the field.
It smells like boiled carrots. Is that supposed to be like that?
Well, you see, every time you smell a scent or a raw material, it triggers an emotion or it gives you an impression. If it's boiled carrot, go for it. That's how you memorize things.
Yeah.
That's why learning the raw material is a very personal adventure, because it is your own word that you put on this sensation, and next time you see something powdery with cooked or boiled carrot, you say, oh, it is iris. It's your own definition, so there is no right or wrong there.
Yeah. This one's also getting leathery. Is it getting leathery? Something rough under there.
Go for it. I have my own definition, and after you you see different facets when you have different types of iris. If you have the same botanical variety growing in China, in Turkey, in south of France, in Italy, or elsewhere, you can smell the differences. Now, when you put a name on those differences, you will next time say, "Oh, this is Chinese, this is French, this is Italian."
Okay.
But that's all about those carrots and stuff. Your impression. It's like wine tasting. You acquire a taste by remembering the differences when you compare two of the same type of wines.
Yeah.
Well, here's the same thing. Take an iris from here and from there, you say, okay, that's that and that's that. After you go on.
Nice.
Paul, you want to smell more? Because I got more.
You got more. Let's try the
I have the rose, the tonka bean.
Tonka and the bergamot sound good. What's curcuma?
It's turmeric.
Oh, okay. Turmeric is becoming very vogue.
Is it?
I don't know, I'm seeing it pop up everywhere.
Well,
In perfumes.
yeah, because obviously it was
It's healthy for you too.
It is, and it's the base of curry, etc., etc.
Ooh, this is good.
So that's a bean coming from Venezuela,
Oh, it's good.
and you know what it is.
I've
How
tasted
it
it.
grows.
Yeah.
Now it's more and more in fashion. Chefs or pastry chefs use them in ice cream or even in savory dishes. But you know, it is in Jiki from 1889, so it's not exactly new to us. But this is an interesting material because it is not. It's an interesting product because it is not grown. It is gathered in the forest. So we work with four communities, and going to get there to visit them is some kind of a trip.
Wow.
You go to Caracas, then you fly south to Ciudad Bolivar, then you drive hours. And when there is no road, there is a dirt road, and when there is no more dirt road, you take the riverboat.
Oh, jeez.
See how remote and far they are in the forest.
Wow.
It is along a river which called Cora River, which blends with Orinoco. So it is in that part south of Venezuela, and those communities live in villages, and they even go further in for a couple of weeks to gather those fruits. The sarapia trees are huge, and those fruit fall. They gather the fruit, and inside you have a nut. So you break the nut, and you have the alma, and that's what you smell.
Who in the world discovered that this was perfect in the perfumes, and especially in the 1800s?
But Sebastian, you know, when they started traveling, there is that guy, Christopher Columbus, who discovered the Americas. There is another guy who went east, Marco Polo, and he came back with all those spices, etc. You would be amazed to see or to know for how long those materials were available.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. But this smells
It's like chocolate and vanilla. When the Spaniards came to Mexico, the locals were drinking that chocolate with vanilla. Actually, the emperor was drinking chocolate and vanilla by gallons. Allegedly, he was telling it was a source of energy. Of course, chocolate there is theobromine, which is a sort of caffeine, so obviously. So eventually some people from Brazil or Venezuela in the forest were eventually using that, and
one thing led to another. Yeah. Yeah, but it's good stuff. Definitely a favorite note.
It's yummy, but it is. Once again, those things have different facets, and they express themselves at different moments of their evaporation.
Yeah.
And that's what makes them very interesting. You said bergamotto.
Yeah. Capua. Huh?
So we get our bergamot from the Capua family for 3 generations now. So you see, when people talk about sustainability is also be faithful to your partners and, you know, carry on.
That smells so good.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a very amicable citrus.
It's so good. That is really delicious. Makes me want to drink it.
You can have Earl Grey if you want.
True. True. Yeah, this is good. This is good. So, how much does Guerlain use bergamot in the fragrances? Most of the fragrances are warmer, not necessarily fresh.
Yeah. That's a good one. Look, the outcome is an invention, and you use different ingredients to make it stand as a set. How much bergamot do you think there is in Shalimar?
Oh, there's a lot. I've smelled it. I can smell that. This is the bergamot I smell in Shalimar.
Yeah, but it's not what Shalimar is famous for.
No,
it's
it's
an
vanilla.
ambery fragrance, it's vanilla, blah, blah, blah. 30%.
Well, these two.
Yeah, it's a mini Shalimar. These 3. With
Tonka as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you put those 3 and you have already a Shalimaresque.
Yeah, very
picture.
much. Yeah.
So, you see, bergamot is everywhere in various proportion, but once again, Shalimar has a huge proportion of it. Does it make it citrusy? No. So, that's where designing sets is complicated, because it's not additional, it's not scientific, it's a series of trials and errors. It could be very frustrating sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you can get stuck. Just because you have to find the right balance in those proportions. But bergamot, yes, indeed, it is. It's everywhere.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It gives that lift. Yeah, you don't have so many ways to, because what we smell here, it's in 10%. It's at 10% in alcohol. So what gives the lift in a scent is either those citrus or the alcohol.
True.
Alcohol is great to make a scent breeze. It's like hopping in a car for a scent. So the volume of alcohol or citrus, etc., are participating to the projection, the lift of the scent.
Makes sense. Yeah, I agree. Totally.
Well, I don't look like that, but sometimes it makes sense. Yeah.
No, I agree. You need that freshness to give it that lift, because
Yeah.
everything is so heavy and it's base notey and weighty,
Yeah.
so it weighs it down.
So you have to bring it up.
Yeah, exactly. Makes total sense. Yeah, bergamot's in every a lot of fragrances.
Yeah. It is in the oldest we manufacture, Haute Cologne Impériale, up to the latest. Terroir.
Yeah, nice, lovely. Thank you.
Sure.
Appreciate it.